What's going on, guys? Welcome to Gump's Videos. Today we're going to be reviewing Joker, and I'm proud to say I really am happy with this movie. The one thing that made me satisfied with this movie the most out of all the things is the fact that this is a different style of movie. You can love, hate DC, Marvel, whatever, I don't give a shit, but at the end of the day, there's no variety. This genre of comic book movies won't last forever. But since you can do stuff like this, that's why I think this genre will last for decades, generations, because you can do just crazy shit like this. And I was so against this movie when it was first announced. I'm like, a Joker movie? Really? How moronic. And then I saw the trailer, I instantly shut up. Everyone's talking about the performances in this movie. His performance as the Joker is incredible. It was so chilling to the bone, and I just believed that he was that character. There was not a time I'm seeing Joaquin Phoenix putting on a performance. He was very creepy, unsettling. He did a great job. And the world that they set up was gritty, grimy, not even trying to be gritty or grimy. It was just so real that it made it even more uncomfortable, because you can make something dark and gritty, but there's a difference from trying but showing you the truth. The truth tends to be more scary than fiction. Seeing some of this shit in this movie was so real, it just made you just curl up. There was a couple scenes where I'm just hiding my face. I'm like, oh my god, that is so chilling and just uncomfortable to watch, especially when the Joker is he's on stage and he's trying to perform in front of people for stand-up comedy, and it's uncomfortable in the best way possible. This kind of uncomfortable feeling pushes the story forward because it's who he is. And it's the huge point of the plot that the main character is very uncomfortable to be around. I feel like this does have a good light on mental health issues. And I'm not going to put this into a political video, but it does shine a very true light in the way that mental health is being treated nowadays. And it's just not cool how people are just like, hey, you got a mental health disease? Okay, well, tough shit. Well, act like you don't have one. And it's very true, and it's very uncomfortable, and it sickens me, but it showed you the real world, and it just put a comic book character in front of it. And I feel like that's why there's a lot of people just saying, this is not cool, this is not okay. There's not a lot of violence in this movie, but when the violence comes, it hits hard. It's not like arms flying off, jaws being broken or anything like that. When that first death hits from the Joker, you sit there and you're just like, fuck, wow, that hit hard. They didn't abuse that R rating either. They used swearing, blood, and gore when it was necessary. They weren't trying to glorify the rated R rating. There was a couple things that I was very nervous about. For those who have watched the movie, which I'm assuming all of you have, you know what I'm talking about. It was sometimes with Batman, I'm like, interesting, but I don't think I would like that. But if they were making their own trilogy, like a Joker trilogy, I would be down for that. But just for a one-off, I feel like that's just like a throwaway thing, and why put it in there? Joaquin Phoenix's transformation physically, just, again, the word is uncomfortable, because that's what this movie is, uncomfortable. And if you're looking for a fun time with the family, don't watch this fucking movie. It's self-explanatory, but for some reason, it's not sticking through some people's heads, because there was a family of three, a mother and two kids that were 6 years old, 7 years old, watching this shit, and I'm sitting there, 21 years old, just curling up to a ball, fucking uncomfortable, and just shocked at the action and the violence I'm seeing in front of me. Like I said again, it's not because jaws are ripping off or anything like that. It's just because when it hits, it hits. Imagine how those 7-year-olds feel. Don't bring your fucking kids to this. No, none of that. I hate this term, but it's very artsy. In a good way. In a good way for the most part. There's a couple times where it got a little pretentious for me. Especially when it tried to spoon feed you information. But there's a lot of subtleties that I picked up on, and I'm sure a lot of you picked up on, because no one around here is fucking idiots. I mean, I'm probably the biggest idiot in the fucking comment section right now in my own channel, but I picked up on a couple subtleties, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And you see a slow, subtle transformation with the Joker's performance, is just Joaquin Phoenix's performance throughout the movie. There's one thing that could have been easily disposable, but for some reason it worked for me so well. It pertains to a certain character that revolves around our main antagonist, I should say, and it could have been a throwaway. What makes this movie so good is the fact that it's natural. It just all feels natural. There's a couple complaints I have here and there, but they're nitpicky and they kind of lean towards spoiler territory. So I'm going to post that to the side, and if you guys want to ask me in the comments down below, I will make sure I'll comment to you right then and there. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. Great time in the movies. It doesn't have a high rewatchability though. Just because how uncomfortable it is. I'm definitely going to watch it again. But it's not like something like Avengers Infinity where you can watch it like 1,000 times and never get enough. Now, getting to the controversy shit, I don't get it. There's still people complaining that claim that have seen the movie, saying that it glorified his actions. In a certain sense, a small 1% sense, I see where they got that information from. Oh, by the way, this is a spoiler right here. When Joker is on the car, just doing his little fucking dance, and everyone's chanting, yeah, 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 yeah. That's the only time I can honestly see him being glorified. Even then, you as a viewer know that his transformation was negative. We all know it. And if you can't tell the difference, no offense, but you shouldn't be watching movies like this. You shouldn't be watching movies in general. Because if you're that easily influenced, if you think you're like a cookie cutter, clean soccer mom, and then you're instantly influenced to go murder cops and shit like that just because of this movie, you shouldn't be watching movies. In fact, you should be, no offense again, in a fucking mental institution, because your mind should not be that easily influenced. That's my opinion. But if you still feel like it was uncomfortable, listen, if you still feel like it was uncomfortable and you feel like it didn't rub you the right way, more power to you. But it's people that are saying that they're doing the right thing by trying to boycott this movie and silence an artist who has clearly had something to say. Because there was a big purpose in this movie. That they're saying that it's violence, it's joke on mental health. I don't know what the fuck you watched. Because the whole thing with mental health, that was not turning that into a joke, and it was not using that as an excuse for mass murder. What it was saying was, from when I experienced the movie, it said it was the society's lack of attention to Joker's needs that turned them into the Joker. First off, the cities cutting funds. They cut the funds, so Joker, he couldn't get his medication. He couldn't get the help he needed, and when he was getting help, he was still not getting help because they were repeating the same fucking shit over and over and over again, saying, how was your day? How was work? How is this? How is that? Are you having negative thoughts? And he blatantly said, it pisses me off that you say that shit over and over again. I'm never happy. I thought it was so fucking obvious. I thought they spoon-fed the information, but apparently not. And the whole thing with the violence, I don't get this either. I don't get this either, because people saw Deadpool and didn't bat a fucking eye. Oh, because this one's more serious, it's different. What about Infinity War? Thanos literally tortured the living shit out of Nebula in Endgame and Infinity War. What am I talking about? In both movies. No one says a thing. It's not glorifying torture. You literally we watch so many different movies and we don't bat an eye, but then Joker comes out and all of a sudden it's a problem. I won't get it. If like I said, if it rubs you the wrong way and you don't like the interpretation of Joker, that's fine. I don't care. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about the controversy. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think about the movie? What would you rate it out of 5 stars? I'm really interested to see what you guys thought because I just love talking about this movie. There's a lot to say about this movie, and that's what tells me it's a really good movie. The fact you can have a conversation for days and days and days about this movie and just talk about real life issues. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have a Twitter, Gumps_videos. Go follow me there for the latest news and updates on my channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and like crap. Later, and goodbye.